All right, the next step that we need in our spaceship game is to build the collisions. We have our spaceship, he moves around the screen. We have our asteroids, those are getting generated and reset. We have collision boxes already set up, or hit boxes. Really all we need to do is we need to start calculating when we have a collision. Okay, now this is really where math comes in. Let me duplicate this. This will be our walkthrough 4. Okay, so I'm going to open up my SketchWow. All right, so when we're looking at collisions, there's actually a lot of different ways. I would say that the easiest one to explain for a collision is really we just need to know if something hit something else. So let's say that this is my player, and we'll do red for an enemy. All right. If we were drawing these, and let's see, can I make that a little bit better? Okay, we're drawing these. If we put the center of where they're getting drawn, it's like right here. Okay, so from there to the edge, that would be a radius. So I'd call that one R1. So center of this shape to the edge would be also a radius. Radius 2. Okay. Now, for what we have learned in math, we have learned that the straight line distance between 2 points is easy to calculate. We're just looking at the difference in x to the difference in x and the difference in y. Okay. So that would be d is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1. Okay, it does not matter if one of our circles is higher or lower, it will still work. Okay, so now what are we looking at? We're looking at the distance. That's what we have for if we're doing our distance. So let's say, and I'm just going to draw them right next to each other. That's the distance that we're going to simulate between our two shapes. If our shape is closer, we want to know, do we have a collision? So let's delete that. We want to know, do we have a collision? Well, all we got to do is we just got to look at, is the distance the same as the two radiuses added together, or is it less? Okay, so let me change the stroke. We'll do green 1. So if we add up that radius 1, say that one's R1, and then we add up, our enemy 1, which is this. If they are the same, that means D is equal to R1 plus R2. If that's true, then we have a collision. We have hit on exactly 1 point. If D is less than R1 plus R2, we have a collision, because that would mean that the shapes are overlapping each other. If we are looking for the distance from the center of each of those points, and the radius is farther away. The only time that there would not be a collision is when the distance is greater than adding up both of those radiuses together. So D being greater than R1 plus R2 is not a collision. That is not a collision. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that we can use for this to help us out. And I'm going to point them out in the references, but we're going to actually build this using a library so we can get that experience. Okay, if I go to the math events, these are different algorithms that we can use. Look, right here, it's already built in. This is the distance function. Okay, calculates the distance between 2 points in either 2 or 3 dimensions. We're only doing 2 dimensions. So all we need is an x1 and a y1. So the coordinates for our first shape and the coordinates for our second shape, and then we can calculate. Gives us the distance from point 1 to point 2. Okay, we're giving point 1, then we're giving point 2. It's pretty easy. Okay, so we could build that in. Now, where would we want to probably build that? We would probably build it with the spaceship. I like to have my stuff always being built off of what I have control over, instead of the asteroids being the ones that are checking for collisions. We want to know the spaceship, if they get hit, yep, they are, getting damaged. So we would build with that. So in here, that's why we have, well, if we keep scrolling down, we have a check collision, because we would check the asteroids in here. This is also where we would check every single asteroid. Now, this wouldn't be super optimized if we have like a full-blown game trying to check every single enemy in our game, but it does make it easier since we only have a few asteroids to be able to check those. That would speed things up. So we can just run through every asteroid and check if there is a match. Okay. Now, when we are drawing our asteroids, let's see. Let's go down to our draw. Right here, we are updating our asteroids and displaying our asteroids, and we're already using a for of loop to see every single asteroid. We could pass each one of those asteroids into our spaceship to check for a collision and then deal with that. So really what we want is when the spaceship collides with the asteroid is going to get reset. The spaceship would lose some health. Okay, so we would put it like where I said here, but we want to add a library. So here I could just check based off of, say, that asteroid. I want to check each asteroid, and this only works because I built the asteroids in a predictable way. I could set let d equals the distance function, say this.x, this.y. And actually we built it as a vector. Let's see if they have that in there. P5 vector.distance, if you're looking for distance between two vectors. So let's look at that. Let's see if we can find that one. Okay. This one's a little bit different, but this one works for us calculating the distance between two vectors, considering a point as a vector object, distance between 2 points. Okay. So there's a couple different ways to do it. We can calculate the distance from one point to the next. Or we can use the built-in, which is this is the one that I want to use, because I don't want it to overwrite anything. P5.vector.distance, and then it's vector 1, vector 2. So that's what we want. So it's just subtly different. P5.vector.dist, and then we can say this.position, because that's position my spaceship, and then I can do asteroid.position. Okay, because we built the vectors for that. That would give me a value, and then I can just really simply write if d is less than or equal to this.size. Now that would be the full size, so this.size divided by 2 plus asteroid.size divided by 2. Okay, that would be basically my collision. We have a collision if this is in here and this is true. So then deal with the asteroid and deal with the spaceship. Okay, so in here, just so that we can see it, console.log, hit. Let's run. Now I'm missing something. which is why I don't see anything. I'm not actually calling it. So we got to go down to the check collision and pass in an asteroid for each one. So in here, let's do spaceship.check collision and then pass in an asteroid. Let's run again. There's a hit. Hit. Now it's hitting multiple times because we haven't dealt with it, but we can see that we have some type of collision. Now, let me show you the library. So if we go to libraries, there are built-in functions that we can use. We have already played around with the sound one. There's all kinds of ones. The one that I want to show you guys is the Collide 2D. We can click on that, and this gives us a whole bunch of different methods for us to use collisions. Okay, all we have to do is just plug it in. This does not run automatically. We have to set it up. Now, there is a couple stipulations on using this. Rectangles are always drawn from the top left corner. We're not drawing from the center for the rectangles. And circles and ellipse are always drawn from the center. Okay, so this works really good when we're not trying to do any types of rotations on the collision boxes. Our asteroids can rotate just fine. Our asteroids are rotating, but our circle's right there. So that's okay. And all we got to do is we just have to use one of these links, okay, in this format, and it just has to be done after we have loaded P5.js. So I'm just going to copy this right here, copy, and then I'm going to go to my index.html file, and this is P5.js loading. Here's my sound. As long as I'm doing it after P5.js, it's fine. There, Collide 2D is done. If I run, I should see this on the console if I did it correctly. To let me know that I have some stuff. Okay, now I can go back to my sketch and we can change in here. So with this, because we wrote that check collision, all we need to do inside of here is really build in the collision. Now, so let's scroll down, because this is all based off of this work, which has a whole bunch of different collisions that we could do. So we have circle, circle, circle versus point, circle versus rectangle. We're actually wanting, in this case, circle, circle, which is the same thing that we did. This is the distance between the x's, the distance between the y. There is the distance formula. And then what they're doing is they're just returning true or false. True if we have a collision, false if we don't. And then we can deal with it how we want. Okay, so we're going to use this because it's useful for us to get used to using libraries. Okay, so let's look at, in here, we're looking for the circle, circle collision. There it is. This is my syntax, so it's similar to us using the P5.js reference. This is my syntax. I need the circle x, circle y, and the diameter. The circle x, circle y, and the diameter of the point 2. Okay, but we're using vectors. So if we scroll down a little bit, we can see that this is how they would write using vectors as input. We just need the position, and then the diameter, and the position, and the diameter. Okay, so we're going to actually write in this format. Okay, because we built it with vectors. Now, what do I want to do with this? That's going to return true or false. Instead of me doing this, I just want to return true or false. So I can get rid of this piece. I can, instead of doing this, checking for that distance, I'm just going to call this, and I need my first position, which would be this dot position, and then it would be this dot size, asteroid dot position, and asteroid dot size. Okay, now if we rerun, this should work exactly the same. There's my hits. Okay, but now let's go ahead and actually start doing something. We're going to deal with the asteroid. Asteroids already have a reset function built in where we can give it an x and a y. So let's see how we set up our original one. Look, we got it where we're resetting right here. and we're passing in a random x and a random y. I'm just going to copy this because this would be useful to reuse. Okay, so if we have a collision, we're dealing with the asteroid, but it's not a this, it's a asteroid.reset. So asteroid.reset, let's copy that, paste, 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 and paste. All right, so all I did was to just pulled that reset function with the random x's and y's from the asteroid, put it in where we're checking for collisions. Now let's see, when we hit an asteroid, it disappears because it reset back up to the top. Okay, now nothing really happened to our ship yet, even though we're still registering a hit. Well, look at what we got. Our ship has a health. So we can actually subtract a health from it. And since we're resetting our ship, it's not going to continually hit. So we could say this.health minus minus, and that would subtract our health. We could console.log look at what that health is. Now, if we are in game development, we tend to like being in some type of God mode, so that we don't see our health zeroing out and then actually killing off our player. We also can't really have it go into negatives. So we start at 3, 3, 2, 1, 0, and then we're dead. We need to deal with that. So we're dealing with our health right now. Now, what are we looking at when we're doing our controls? So let's look at our control, our update. We're updating our ship controls and our position. Really, we don't want that to happen when we are dead. So we could actually change right here and say if our health is less than 0, then we're not going to do anything. We could also do it in the draw. We could have our asteroids freeze and stop updating and just show a display. We could also have other screens show up. I think the easiest way to see it, though, is just to do this. So if this.health is less than 0, that's my question. Oops, I want as long as it's greater than or equal to 0. So I can move this in here. Okay, now I can move around. There's one hit, there's another hit. I'm moving to the right, so we can obviously see it. I can't move anymore. I'm now locked there. Okay. I can't move or control my ship because I'm no longer less than 0 in my code. Okay, so that's how I deal with collisions. Not too difficult, and it makes it a lot easier when we deal with using libraries and things like that. But really all we're doing is we're just using some math calculations and actually checking. Because other than that, there is no way to say how to tell if something's colliding just by looking at it, because computers can't see. So we have to pass in that information. All right, good luck. Have